Hi everybody, Alex Aploy here from Expert Forex, and today we're going to be talking about building powerful day trading strategies. And this is actually a training video that's part of the Proprietary Trading course, the course that teaches traders to trade other people's money. And we have gone through the create set files process, and I'll show you that. And we are into the testing your set files area. This is the main area where strategies get developed, portfolios get developed for trading professionally as a proprietary trader. Now, just recently I did do a 4-part series where I showed some examples of looking at charts and finding better money making trading settings and strategies. Okay, so participants in the course will know that what I've created are two portfolios. One is being traded in the FTM&O account, and the others are traded individually on IG platforms. There are 12, so there's 22 different approaches that are being traded. They're all on the 15-minute, because 15-minute was found to be the most balanced time frame for day trading. And we have now just finished our first week of trading after creating set files for those particular accounts, and the set files have not done well at all. Overall, the overall success rate is 20%, and there's the daily success rates. You can see they are pretty low. But the big lesson here is, firstly, that set files do not work out the box. I have used pure set files that I've created for these particular currencies using back trading, and they do not work. So that's number one lesson. But the other main lesson is that it hasn't killed the account. The drawdown has been limited to 1.5% of the account, which when you're a proprietary trader, limiting the drawdown is your prime objective. Profitability is secondary. So we have really not done well this first week, but we are going to go on and improve on this performance. What has come out here are a few things. There are days of the week that are more prone to profits and others that are more prone to losses. And that's important information. The more information we can build on this database, the better, because what it means in the long run, if Mondays are really bad or Fridays are really bad, then as a day trader you would halve your lots in those days. And if Thursdays and Tuesdays are really good on a consistent basis, you would double your lots in those days. So we are gaining information from this exercise. The other thing that I've noticed here is that the CAD currencies have really performed reasonably well. So there's a CAD 40% success rate. There's a CAD 40% success rate. Let's go down. Euro CAD 40% success rate. CAD 40%. CAD Yen 40%. That's a new one. Euro CAD, that's a new one. 40% success rate. Go down to CAD Yippee 40%. So the CAD crosses have all performed well. So that's a whole lot of new information that we've gained from this only one day of trading. The other thing that has happened in this particular trading is the settings that were used. I've limited my loss to $100 a day per currency, but I have made the targets for the day 3 times the loss. So that's $300 were made on good days, and $100 were lost in bad days. So there's been a good risk return ratio that's come out. So there's quite a few things to be learned from this initial analysis. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking each currency and looking at it and saying, okay, there were the results, and those were the settings I used to create those results. I'm then back testing it to make sure that the back testing produces the same results. And then what I'm doing is I'm going through each of the major settings, and I'm actually saying, saying, what impact if I optimize just that setting, what impact would that have? And you can see that a lot of the ones don't have an impact. The moving averages haven't really made a big change. The stop loss and take profit but where the big change came from is it said, hey mate, your day targets have been way too small. You should have been going closer to 500 rather than 300 that you used before. And that has come through consistently out of all the 22 currencies that I've looked at. The testing has said, hey, your targets are too low. So I immediately adjusted that, and you'll see the impact of that. Then the time of days is always critical, and you can always make improvements on the time of day. So it's what's happened here is that we've identified that some of the settings are less important. You'd think the stop and targets are highly important. It's not really. It's actually those settings, the targets and the time of day settings. Then, and I've recorded the I wonder settings. Then I've done a total optimization. So I've just said, what is the best we could have done last week if we had traded? And it's actually not, and it's you can see it's slightly better, but it gives guidance as to the areas that need changing. For instance, that says 0.01. We actually traded 0.9, and I took that into account and reduced the lot sizing for my future trading direction and things like that. And moving averages, I made some small adjustments to the moving averages there. I looked at the stop and target ratios, made some adjustments there, and also increased the targets that we are going for, and made some very small adjustments to the time of day. So I basically did a visual evaluation, I did a I wonder test, and I did a new optimization. And taking those three things into account, I basically said, let's try these settings over the next week. So that's what I've done, and you can see here, here's the CAD, and remember we increased the profit side of things, and it had a really good Monday morning session, or it had a really good Monday session rather, and it reached a profit of 400. So just shows you that the analysis that I did, and it said basically increase your profitability. So when you lose, you're going to lose 100, but when you win, you're going to make 400, and that makes it much more worthwhile. And that was a pretty good bit of information that came out of that analysis. So after week one, I have actually created a much better picture of what's required in the future and what appears to be the critical success factors. And the first one is go for high daily risk return ratios. Don't go for what I started out as 1 to 300, 100 to 300. Go for 100 to 400 or 500, and I suspect 600 could also be an option. So that was a major discovery. In all of the cases, the 300 setting was too low. Find the most volatile and trendy times of day. Now, there's various ways of doing that. I did earlier today present a tool that helps you do that, trend timing tool, and you can look at a previous video that I made today for that one. It's freely downloadable for members of the paid forum, and that's pretty important. You can just use your eye and say, hey, every day at 9 o'clock this trend happens, every day at 1 o'clock this trend happens. And so you need to spend a lot of time analyzing the currencies. It's not going to happen every day, but all you want is it to happen 2 out of 5 times or 2 out of 4 times. That's enough to make you very wealthy. So it's well worth spending a lot of time trying to find the times when trends are consistently happening in the market. So risk return ratios, trends in the market. So the other thing is that you should get into the trend quickly. When the trend happens in those special times that you've identified, get into them quite quickly. And that's one of the things. Also, one of the things that I've learned this week is that those moving averages that the the make money day trader uses, they should be quite sensitive. In other words, short moving averages, maybe 3 to 6 or so that they get you into the trend very quickly. Then give trading time to succeed. Now, if your lot sizing is too small, you're going to be stopped out during the day's trading after 1 or 2 trades. So that's the test. You should have at least, let's say, 4 to 7 trades before you get stopped out for the day. If you're getting stopped out of 1 trade, it means your lot sizing is way too big. Also, it's very important to use a large portfolio when you're testing. As you've seen, I've got 22 different strategies running at the same time. The more you can do, the better, because in the end, what we want to do is we want to cherry pick and really get the best currencies and the best settings that we're going to be using for our proprietary trading. And then as point 7 is a consistent thing throughout Forex trading, is experiment, different currencies, different time frames, different settings, different trading approaches. Don't stop experimenting if you want to find some really good day trading strategies. But in general, I found the shortcut is find the most volatile times of the day and trade with the trend in those ones using a nice high risk return ratio. And that is a rule of thumb for successful day trading. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm going to be making something similar next week when we have another week of trading to analyze. Let's have a look if we can actually improve the results from 20% success rate. Hopefully we can push it to 40% or thereabouts. We don't actually need it to be that high. 30% will most probably be enough to make us positive if we're using that 1 to 4 or 5 risk return ratio. Just before signing off, the other thing why this is successful is we're using a multiplier. Multiplier says that you open a trade on every single candle that is complying with the direction that you've chosen. So for instance, that's why you see so many red entries here, because it opens a transaction on every candle, and that's why that was such a successful day. We're using a multiplier. So that's another thing that makes day trading successful, is if you use a multiplier that enters trades on a regular basis. As always, useful links to the content that was in this video will be available in the commentary of the video. From me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.